I would say we shall start. Mechanic will be here like in like a minute or two, maybe even like in a couple seconds. Steph is currently with their uncle, so I doubt they will join us. A friend wanted to join to watch, but she is not responding at all, so I have no idea if she's here or not. I've read all the first 10 minus 3 they are long, but pretty good. But really good. Okay. Yeah, I mean, isn't that wasn't that like is that always the case at the start of there he is, told you. Isn't it like the start of a series always a tiny bit longer? Because it's like the big start. Or am I just mistaken? Like, I don't recall if the 2000. Actually, I can just check. I mean, yeah, the very first one in the 2000s, the 200 was like an hour long, followed by 20 minutes, 23 minutes, half an hour, 12, half an hour, 10, 20. I know that seems more like an average length. That seems more like an average. Who the hell? The first couple of ones are contest winning. Yeah, the same happens with the last couple of series. Yeah, no, I recall because that's what people keep telling me. Had to land my flying productive before I joined the stream. Gotcha. Man, people don't like my Thomas is a fun guy to 209 reading apparently. Well, I mean, okay, it's not like it got a massive dislike. It's 1 like, 1 dislike. Oh well. It got almost 100 views. That's nice. Also pretty long. Yeah, then we'll get there. We'll get there when we get there. I'm not gonna worry about. That's something for future me to worry about. All right. How about we get started? Because today we do have a long reading today. So I don't want to like. it's definitely gonna be another like I would say 4.5 hour reading maybe. So let's get started. We have Wei Zong to start off our stream today. And oops, that's the wrong. Where the hell did Wei Zong go? I had it open before. Did I close it by accident? Here for you entertainment. The last one we have from Wei Zong was very recent. The 2925. 2925, which was yes, it was the like the orb, glass orb that just like like it can basically collect a lot of energy really rapidly, and you have to be very cautious with how you treat it, because if you even just like bump it a little bit too much, the kinetic energy gets stored up and it's already like overloaded. Like just be very cautious with it. Also, once we're repeating numbers, they'll be on the long side. Gotcha. Again, that's the we worry about that when we get there, especially something like 4444. That's far future me to think about. But now, how about we focus on the SCPs we got now, which is Just a Chair by Wei Zong. Just a Chair. And I believe Howard told me, let me double check. No tales needed, at least some links, but mostly to give relevant context. I mean, those are the links are important to read, Howard. You think as a person who has like who knows me the longest out of all the people here, like he would know that if you tell me like, oh, there's some things that just give context, you don't need to read that. You should be aware that I will read that. Like that's that's the one thing you should know about me by now. All right, but here we go. Let's get started. Did I did. Okay. Object class save. Special containment procedures. SCP-2950 is to be stored in a standard save class anomalous item containment locker. And I can already feel the warmth because I have the jacket on, so I'm gonna take my socks off. No feed for y'all. Testing on SCP-2950 is currently indefinitely suspended due to the extremely low priority. There are no plans to revive testing of SCP-2950 due to the need to use resources more efficiently. Description. SCP-2950 is a metal folding chair. I am the storm. It would be actually cool if iTunes now played that. That's not it. Nope. If it just played like the visual theme from Devil May Cry 5, I would be like fitting. SCP-2950's enormous effect causes those who sit in it to experience elevated levels of comfort that do not correspond to chairs of similar composition style. Let me read that again. Enormous effect causes those who sit in it to experience elevated levels of comfort that do not correspond to chairs of similar. Okay, so like basically it's like even though like the normal chair in that style would be very uncomfortable, this one you're like, oh, I feel at ease. Individuals that sit in SCP-2950 report that they feel as if they need to sit in the chair constantly and are often hostile when asked to leave the position. That's the chair that people try to prank me into. Like, hey, you want to read? You want to sit down and read some SCPs for us? I'm like, oh, not in the mood right now. It's like, oh, hey, okay, that's no problem. How about you sit on this chair? And then I sit on the chair. I'm like, dear God, I do not want to leave. And it's like, you do not want to leave, huh? How about now? Do you want to read some SCPs? Well, seeing as I cannot leave, I guess I will. Good. That's what my dad would use. Hit people in the head out of fun. Sometimes you like, you know, you say things. You say things like, haha, it's funny, but I'm like, you make your dad sound like hyper aggressive. Like he should be in jail. Testing has indicated, wait, actually, individuals that sit in the have to take constant are often hostile when asked to leave the position. Testing has indicated that the longer an individual sits in SCP-2950, the more difficult it is to remove said individual. Subjects who sit in the chair for longer than 30 minutes cannot be removed from the chair without the use of force. Are they like super glued to the chair? Subjects who sit in the chair for longer than 1 hour cannot be coerced into leaving the chair. And then we have darkness. Darkness falls. Identity recognized. And then we have light. Wait, hold on. I'm trying to figure out what the 2-1 is. Is it supposed to be like lighting? No. Light prevails. Opening access to file. So the new 056, a new one. You should not say that. You should not expose that he's new. If you've seen this document before and are wondering why you can now see this new edition, it's because you're the only person inoculated with the anti-cognitive hazard capable of allowing you to see this. Nobody, not Reiser, not the researchers, not even the other 05s can see this. Well, am I 056? They got their own little projects to deal with anyways. As you probably guessed, there are things that are below the surface in this big place we call work. You always wondered about the layers, the lawyers, the layers hidden behind the documents, and there's a reason why they exist. Certain info hazards are more dangerous than others. Some are so dangerous that only a few people can ever know about them. And sometimes the number is 1. SCP-2950, as you probably guessed, is not simply a very comfortable chair. That's what we, and by we I mean you and I, want people to think. Okay, here we go. Deeper. We'll deep dive into this chair. I am the storm that is approaching. SCP-2950 is a Keter class entity that cannot be defined. It is not something that we cannot define because we cannot remember it. It is undefinable because we must define what it is. SCP-2950 takes the form of whatever the majority of people think it is. Oh, kind of like the Mothman situation. How like Mothman's like a fog, but if you make enough people around it believe it's supposed to be Mothman, that's what it is. You're not stupid. You can probably guess what that means. Is it actually a chair? For most people it is. You know better. Make sure this document gets around to a lot of people so people know that it's a chair. The chair is designed to be as mundane as an SCP could possibly be. No mind tricks, no insane hostility, no helpful properties. We want people to be as disinterested in this chair as possible. If you find out that someone is trying to run a test on this thing, don't let them. You might be thinking, why don't we simply forget about it? Why don't you and I just dupe ourselves into thinking it's a chair so it actually is one? I wish it could be that easy. Unfortunately, somebody out there knew what it is too. And somebody wrote a damn book about oh no! I like the idea that SCP-2950 is a metal folding chair that gives people separation anxiety. Theory, the chair and Mothman are from the same species. I like the idea. I like the idea that they actually are from the same species. Yeah, you know what? I can live with that. Let's put that. Let's push that one. Let's push that one out there. It started when we found a book describing SCP-2950 as some kind of XK class monster. Well, great. We initiated containment protocols along those lines, believing that it was true, and so it was. In the process, the Serpent's Hand, of course, drained themselves trying to stop us from getting that book. We never understood, and most of them didn't either. There were few who had the knowledge to tell us the truth, but they only told us when it was far too late. A secret meeting saw the O5s and the Serpent's Hand discussing what SCP-2950 was. They showed us their books and the stories that gave us what we needed to know. A lot of us were skeptical. More of us were desperate. After doing what was necessary to erase awareness of SCP-2950, it was agreed that one of us on each side would keep the knowledge to prevent something like this from ever happening again. Neither of us, and I'm pretty sure the Serpent Hand is just a regular link to like the organization. Yeah, we know this page. After doing what was necessary to erase awareness of SCP-2950, it was agreed that one of us on each side would keep the knowledge to prevent something like this from ever happening again. Neither of us ever found out where those books came from. According to them, they appeared in the library one day. The source that we used to find ours disappeared, and nobody knows where it came from. That's why you're here. Not only do you have to remember, but if possible, you must find out where this thing came from. I failed, and so did the rest of the O56 that have tried. Maybe you'll be different. We kept our end of the bargain, and hopefully, so have they. And now it's time to pass the torch on to someone else. I don't have to remind you that you're alone on this, and it's not exactly that you can call up the Serpent's Hand and ask for backup. Good luck, sir or madam. The world needs you on this one. And, by the way, congratulations on the promotion. 056. So this is the old 056 telling the new 056. And this, I feel like we don't need to read. I think we're good. Okay, interesting start. Interesting start. What do we have here in the chat? Sorry, guys. Other perhaps good friends, of course, in your world. In your world, they're good friends. By the way, for any potential viewers, Mothman is SCP-2901. Yeah, no, we're not talking about the cryptid Mothman from our world. We're talking about the cryptid Mothman in the SCP Foundation. And Mothman SCP-2901 is a good friend of mine. And that too, yes, of course. Whew. So yeah, no, it sounds very like they're like I like the theory of Casabon that they're actually like from the same species. But yeah, very fun, short little start to get back into it. I'm looking forward to what today's stream is all about. So how about we continue? But I would trick people into sitting on SCP-2950. You worry me sometimes.